Hi. You often feel like healthcare is complicated. Maybe you even feel at odds with your doctor. If these are true statements, then keep listening, and I'm going to help you navigate the process of choosing the right path and give you solutions. Actually, 5 solutions to help you healthcare needs. Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Story, and thanks for listening today. Today, I want to start to talk about purpose. So, before we talk about the 5 secrets, what I want to talk about is the purpose. Now, purpose is defined as the reason we do something or one's intention or objective. So the purpose drives our actions, it drives our beliefs. And I feel it's extremely important to define your purpose and make sure you stay congruent to that purpose. For example, my purpose is to help as many people as possible get and stay healthy. So first, let's define health. So health is defined by the World Health Organization as the state of the complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just the absence of disease or infirmity. So assisting people to achieve physical, mental, and social well-being is the end goal of my practice. And that drives the education, the treatment methods, the tools that I do and don't use, the style of adjusting, and the services I offer to in the course of guiding people to health. So the different healthcare professions often have different purposes. And the issue I'd like to highlight is the confusion that happens in patients because the purpose of those professions are not often clearly defined. So, for example, we have disease treatment disguised as healthcare, and we have lifestyle based actions confused as disease treatment. And because of the confusion and the judgment of the different professions, patients often don't know when to take action, who to go to, or who to consult to get the result. And as a result, we have a society that is more reactionary when it comes to healthcare. And that means they wait until there's a problem before they finally take action. And even then, they're treating lifestyle problems with emergency based treatments and wondering why they're actually not getting healthy. So let me give you an example. All right, think about high blood pressure for a minute. By the time someone has high blood pressure, it's usually been many, many years. And then, even then, typical course of action is to treat with a medication to lower the blood pressure. Now, you may argue and say, okay, that brings the person's body into a normal range, and with the addition of that drug. But the problem, the real issue is actually being masked in that situation. So, sure, the person is in that normal range, but the body is still struggling underneath, meaning the state of physical, mental, and social well being hasn't been achieved. You're just forcing the body, you're forcing that pressure to be in a range that we consider healthy. And a sign that it's not actually healthy is that your body is still in the disease state. If you take the drug away, the person's blood pressure reverts right back to where it was. Nothing was changed. The blood pressure didn't change. The body didn't get out of disease and turn healthy. It's just managed for the period of time. Now, if that same person, now obviously this is a longer term process, if that same person was to be educated, let's say from a young age, to recognize and make the lifestyle changes necessary, that person might not have ever manifested high blood pressure. And statistics actually show that about 50% of the blood pressure issues that are currently being treated with medications would disappear if we change the lifestyle of the individual. So when I decided to become a doctor, the kind of doctor I wanted to be, because my purpose was to help people, I saw immediately the incongruencies in the medications and quickly realized that that wasn't the path for me. So when I found chiropractic, it gave me a vehicle that I could educate people and I could help people on a level that actually let them achieve that physical, mental, and social well-being. And over the last 20 years of practice, I've been able to refine and identify 5 categories that must be addressed in order to achieve true health. And those are what we're going to talk about today. So to be clear, I'm not treating disease with my methods, but by helping the body to function properly, disease does heal. And the good news about these 5 categories is that anybody, regardless of the state of disease, the level of health, the age of the person, the behavior, these 5 things will help you improve your physical, mental, and social well-being. And it's good for you no matter what. So it's good to do either way. All right, so the first category, let's look at the chart behind me. The first category to improve and change your function is to improve the nervous system. The nervous system, I think, is the most important. And the reason is because, to give you more data, it's based in your nervous system is based in your spinal system. It's inside your skull and it's inside your spinal bones. And there are 24 bones. There are hundreds of muscles. There's hundreds of ligaments, and they're all working together to make what we consider a physical core of your body. And they also serve to protect that nervous system. So when that structure is out of alignment and the pressure gets placed on the delicate nerves inside, so then depending on the nerve that's being irritated will determine the issue that you're dealing with. So for example, if you have pressure on a sensory nerve, you might feel pain. But if you have pressure on a function nerve, then whatever that nerve is going to won't function properly. So for example, if the nerve goes to your stomach, and that nerve tells how much acid is supposed to be produced, and that nerve is irritated, that might produce too much acid or not enough acid. And so you might get indigestion, you might get acid reflux. Right? And so if we were to remove that interference and restore that communication, well, the acid might produce at the right amount and the symptom might disappear. So to be clear, I'm not treating stomach issues, but I'm making sure the quality of information getting to the organ is getting there in the quantity and the capacity that it needs it, and letting the body do the work. That's the whole goal of this, is letting your body do the work. Now, this category, we do need to work from the outside. You can't just look at your spine and say, oh, it's out of alignment. You can't feel it always because not every issue is sensory based. And so you do need to get checked. You need to get checked for poor alignment. And because chiropractors are the specialists in this area, this is my specialty. And I know the process of finding a chiropractor can be actually daunting. You have to find a person who's purposeful, who matches your purpose, who treats you the way you want to be treated. So I don't envy anyone trying to find a chiropractor out there, or any doctor of any type. All I do know, I can't speak for anyone else, but I know I will give you my 100%. And so because of that, I recommend you come to me. If you're already one of my patients, you're already in good hands. If you've never been to me, I do hope to see you soon one day. Okay, so let's look at category number 2. Category number 2 is nutrition. There are 90 essential vitamins and minerals that you need on a daily basis. And essential just simply means that you can't get them from the outside. You have to supply them to the body. So by supplying the micro and the macronutrients that your body needs every day, it gives it the fuel it needs to run all the processes. It's like putting gasoline in your car. Unfortunately, navigating the grocery store these days pretty much requires a degree in nutrition to figure out what to eat. And to make it easier, I've compiled a manual to give you the basics. So from there, I also offer consultations to deal with individual difficulties if people are having trouble. So if you simply went to the website that you see here below, on our services tab, you'll see there's a nutritional manual that you can download, and you can use that for yourself. If you think about it, several hundred years ago, food was different. It was the only thing available was fresh, natural, organic, chemical-free food. You didn't have the choices, and so you almost couldn't fail in eating proper nutrition because you had no other choice. You had to eat meats, grains, fruits, vegetables. That was pretty much it. But now we have so many produced and processed foods that it's almost impossible to know what really is true. And then don't even get into the education on the labels. They're not even telling us the truth half the time. So it's very, very difficult. So I hope you go to the website and download that manual. If you have any particular questions or you would like a deeper consultation, of course, make an appointment with us and call me. Category number 3 is exercise or movement. Weak muscles lead to poor posture and unstable joints and are really a primary reason people don't hold their alignment. Lack of exercise is really at the root cause of poor health. And this is so important to your health. To me, it's so important that I've actually hired a person, a trainer, to assist you in the office. Now, many of you have met her. Her name is Amy. She's a functional trainer. She's a movement specialist. Because I found that people, it was so easy to say, well, I'll exercise, or I go for a walk. But I tell you what, after 2 decades of working with people, most people they're not doing it. They're not exercising, or they're not doing enough, or they're not doing the right actions. And so that's why I hired Amy to get you in shape. And the first thing she does is she assesses everyone with a 30-minute movement assessment. That's completely free. And it'll give her, me, and you an understanding of what needs to be done. You will find in those few stretches and exercises she puts you through of where the weaknesses are. The key thing she's focusing on is what's called stabilizer muscles. Everyone knows how to do a bench press and a push-up and a pull-up and a squat, but they don't realize that it's the stability muscles, the little teeny muscles that hold those joints in place, are at the root of the misalignments and the lack of stability, and why you get up in the morning and you're so stiff, and why you can't bend over and pick things up. Your body has become compensated over and over the years, and it's struggling to move. So working with her is going to accelerate your success. In the long run, it's going to keep you healthy, and honestly can save thousands on disease treatments. If we can turn the degeneration process, or stop it, or turn it off so that you can move properly, you can see other possibilities. You might not need a knee replacement or a hip replacement. Now, I know it's hopeful, it's pie in the sky, but it's still possible. So once again, you go to the website, you'll see her picture, and next to it, there's a link to make appointments. So schedule one of her 30-minute appointments, and you won't be sorry. If you need to, come in the office or give us a call. We can do it there too. All right, category number 4 is avoiding stress. Stress is part of life. It motivates us. It helps us, keeps us avoid danger. There are positive aspects to stress. However, long-term stress can severely damage the body. But the problem is most people just get comfortable with stress. And just because you don't freak out when something happens, it doesn't mean it's not harming you. So my solutions to stress have 2 parts. One, when you're stressed over a long period of time, there's a gland called the adrenal gland that becomes overworked. And this leads to what's called adrenal fatigue. And the results are symptoms like headaches and sleep issues and digestive issues, hormonal issues, allergies, and so much more. And during this time, the body uses certain resources faster. So it uses B vitamins, vitamin C, hormonal precursors. So what we found, if you were to replace those nutrients and support those adrenal glands, and it will allow the gland to rebuild itself. And so then you will actually react and respond to stress a little more naturally, a little less dramatically. And we see tremendous success with a wide variety of health issues, especially the most chronic ones, like the chronic fatigues, the people with rheumatoid arthritis, Lyme's disease. We see that really improve their function by improving the adrenal success. Now, if you were to come to the office and get checked, I would do a specific blood pressure test to measure the efficiency of the gland. If we determine the gland is weak, I would offer you what's called an adrenal support. It's a supplement that's really, in my opinion, the best on the market that helps you rebuild those glands and get you back to function again. So we're seeing people sleep better. We see their allergies begin to diminish, seasonal allergies as well as other types of allergies. So it's a really great action. But that's not it. The second part to dealing with stress is you have to deal with what's called the triggers. Now, triggers come from past emotional experiences that are often the real reason we are even reacting to the situation in the first place. And my secret weapon is Catherine Rose. Now, last week I interviewed her and we discussed her work in more detail. So you can see her interview on Facebook. On my website is a link to her site. Again, you go down to the services and you'll find her link. Her website is here. It's krosehealing.com. and I want you to check that out. Best thing to do, make a consultation and talk to her and find out how she can help you with the stress you're having. If she can help you kind of disconnect from some of the energy and the subconscious triggers that are happening, you might actually be able to react a little more rationally, a little more consciously, because when your button is pushed and those triggers start to go, you almost have no control over how you're going to react. It's as if you reverted back to that old time and place when it originally happened, and you're that same vulnerable, out of control person in that moment, and so your body goes back through that whole experiences again. So if she can help you disconnect from the energy, you might actually be able to respond in real time as an adult, rationally, and so on. So I encourage you to go to the website you see below, find from my website or from hers, and really make an appointment. That's the easiest thing to do. All right. So the last category is the avoidance of toxins. Now, many of you have heard me say this a million times. We have a fragrance-free policy in the office. We ask people not to wear perfumes. And the reason isn't because someone's allergic to it. It's because the chemicals that make up those perfumes are toxic. These chemicals are in our food, they're in our body products, they're in our cleaners, they're in our laundry, they're in our homes, our cars, the mall. Everywhere you go, there's a tremendous amount of chemicals. And in fact, there's over 80,000 in our environment. Some of these things cause cancer, some disrupt hormones, some mimic functions in your body, some are just irritants, but in all cases, they're foreign and they cause harm. And you say, well, how can that be? How can we allow that? We have an FDA, an EPA, we have all these government agencies, we have people oversight. What we found was the loophole is that in each one of these products that you use, let's say a laundry soap or a cleaner, the amount of the chemical is fairly small. So they consider your exposure to be not significant enough. But if you start to multiply that by the dozen of products we come in contact with on a daily basis, and multiply by the days that we're exposed to those products, these numbers can become significant. So what happens is your body has to deal with these chemicals. And the primary way it does it is to neutralize them with fat. So that means the more chemicals you accumulate, the larger your waist gets. The more inflammation you have, the more hormonal disruption you have, the more allergies and toxins and brain fog and so on that you get. And did I say you're going to gain some weight too? So the solution here is to change your products. Just eliminate them. Eliminate the chemicals that are unnecessary. Stop toxifying your body and just reduce the load. For the most part, most of these chemicals are not necessary. They're done as to please our nose or to I don't know, to do something, but they're not necessary. We have so many options in the world. You can go to any store and there are multiple choices. You don't have to pick the most toxic choice. You can have intermediates. And if you're thinking, oh, those products are too expensive, every one of you have looked in my office, there's a basket. And those 5 or 6 products literally clean everything from my house, my car, my body, our office, and maybe the whole thing costs $30. Most of the products last for years because you only use tiny bits of it. And we have a clean office, we have a chemical-free office, we have a healthy, we're healthier as a result. So get that worry about price out of your mind. You have to just learn how to do it. I've got the resources, we've got the links, we can help you navigate through it. All right, so that being said, then once you get that, stop polluting yourself, the next thing you need to do is get rid of what's already in. You need to cleanse the body. And we use a chelation process. Chelation means to bind. So the Latin for bind. So nutrients and the products that we use bind and flush out the toxins, and they leave your system cleaner and healthier. And so one of the positive effects, of course, is you lose weight. But as the chemicals are flushed, you no longer need the fat, right? Because the fat is what neutralizes it. So you no longer need the fat, and it's released. And so we're watching people lose 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 pounds I've even seen in 30 days. Again, it's not a gimmick. It's not like a get thin fast. It's about getting your body back into balance and harmonized so that your body can heal itself. Okay. So once you get all the chemicals out, then your body can start to function. All right. So those are the 5 steps. Now you start. Some people are good in some areas. Some people need to work on other areas. But one of the things that we do is we would analyze all the different categories. With the toxin category, we actually do a saliva test to measure how toxic your body is. It measures the pH to see how many chemicals are still floating around your system. So we can do stress testing, we can do saliva testing, we'll look at your spine, we're going to do nutritional, as well as exercise testing. So it's a very thorough process. So as I said before, my purpose is to help as many people as possible. And my hope is that all of you who are clients are inspired to take a little bit more advantage of what we have to offer and talk to me, ask me, and we'll do all the tests for you. We'll help you figure it out. If you've never been to me before, I ask you to make an appointment. On my website, which you see below me, is a link that says for a consultation, make an appointment. On there, you'll see, you go in and you'll make an appointment. Just pick the day 1 first visit. There's no charge to it. I really don't want any barrier to people getting better. I want you to have an opportunity to get well. And so what we'll do is we'll sit down about 30, 40 minutes. Everyone that's been through my whole session knows that I take the time. And we can discuss how we might be able to help you. So I hope that you do take me up on this offer. And I really hope to see you soon. Again, I'm Dr. Chris Storti, and you have a fantastic day.